Hi guys, thought I'd do another quick shave video. As you can see, I've got a bit of growth, probably about 3 or 4 days here. And what I'd like to do is again demonstrate a few different products that I have. I'm actually going to be using 2 base plates today from the ATT or above the tie range. One being the ATT S2 slant razor, and the other being the corresponding ATT S1 base plate. I kindly bought this off a forum member on Against the Grain, so a big thank you, you know who you are, and the great service was provided as always. What I'd like to do today is see how the different levels of aggression suit myself. I prefer a slightly more aggressive razor or a more efficient razor, and that usually is the case with the open combs. So, as always, I've had my brush blooming. Today I'm going to be using my Xmas limited edition or Christmas limited edition from the shaving room, which is the SHAVEMAC Jade Anchor brush. And this is a 2-band brush. It's a silver tip set at 26 width and 50 loft. This is the best representation of a gel tipped feel with regards to all the SHAVEMACs I own, and I absolutely love the jade coloration, and yeah, fantastic brush. So moving on, the soap that I'll be using today is a glycerin based soap. It's made by an artisan that no longer, I believe, makes soaps anymore, but it's Professor Blighty, and the scent is Grapewood. So this opens up with a very woody essence scent, and you almost get a citrus, grapefruit, not necessarily grape per se, but more a citrusy grapefruit blend with the wood. It's been blooming. It's a hard soap, fairly hard soap, and I'm just going to load up now. It's an excellent performer. For a glycerin based soap, you may feel it lacks some of the cushion that you get with tallow soaps. However, the slickness is there, and for me personally, I don't have an issue with the cushion it provides. So, Professor himself suggests that you bloom the soap for a good 5 minutes, which I've been doing. As I load up, you can see the brush is already almost saturated with the top band in soap. I'm just going to load up for a little bit longer. Straight off the puck, you get a beautiful woody, citrusy scent. This is not similar to other woody, citrusy scents that you'd probably associate to, I don't know, wood cleaners or toilet cleaners or something of that nature. This is much more sophisticated. I absolutely love this scent. I'm going to be disappointed when this one goes completely to the bottom of the tin. So, brush loaded. I'm just going to slightly wet my face. As before, I'll be using one side of the razor, one side of the S2 on the left side. I'll be using the right side with the S1. I'm going to start with the S2 just so I can appreciate the difference in aggression. It's going to be my first time using the S1, the non-open comb base plate, so you're going to get all my thoughts running through my head straight onto the video. I can be quite analytical, so I do apologise if I do bore you. So bringing this up to a face lather now, as you can see, is dead easy. Straight away, lots and lots and lots of coverage. This brush is probably the best SHAVEMAC I own. I know I'm really putting it out there, but every time I use it, the feel is incredible. The clumping you'll see at the end, when I've cleaned the brush off, I'll show you the tips, and you can appreciate just how well the bristles clump. The reason I do show you the clumping is, personally I feel this is how the gel tip feel arises, and it's my favourite feeling, as long as you get sufficient backbone alongside with the gel tip feel, and this provides it all. So, face lather done. Didn't take long at all. I'm going to use an Astra blade, a fresh Astra blade in both the razors, so we don't have any or very little very little issue between the two when making a controlled viewpoint. God, English is bad today. Okay, so clear the sideburns. Okay, so let's start off with the S2. Good audible feedback. I'm using an Atlas handle with the S2, just in case. It can be slightly more aggressive than other razors, but at the same time it's a super efficient razor. It doesn't cause me any irritation when used properly. That being the lightest touch, a light handle and short strokes. Okay, so as you can see, it's taking off the stubble very easily. Good audio feedback. And yeah, first pass done. That's with the grain north to south as I always do, so using the camera now to shave. It's left a fair bit of stubble, but it has removed what you could say is the top layer. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch over. I'm going to use the S1 on the other side. Before I use it, my expectations are obviously it's going to be fairly more mild than the S2. And that's not saying that the S2 is an aggressive razor as such, on my skin at least. But the S1, I'm pretty certain will have less blade feel, having less blade exposure. However, what I am worried about with the S1 is for my stubble type, which is quite coarse, I do hope that it is efficient enough so as not to make several passes over the same area in order to get the same effect as the S2. Incidentally, when loading my ATT, I like to push the blade up against the top plate and you hear a little click, and then I will wind it into the handle. So this is the S1 now, the non-open comb side, and we're going to go again, so on the other side of my face. Okay, straight away, this is a lot milder. Again, the blade's held superbly stiff within the head of the razor. Efficiency, I'm really impressed. I can see why you guys all love this head type. It is probably, that's the S2. And if I just move the light source, so I will start my video soon. That's the S1. So pretty similar actually. I'm quite surprised at that. I'm going to finish off this side with the S1 and carry on making my analysis. Great audible feedback. This feels a lot more comfortable, or probably not the right word, but if I say safer, you get the gist of what I mean when shaving. Right, I'm just going to quickly wash up and have a quick look at my face, see how it's done. So I'm using a damp towel. I used to wash my face thoroughly between passes, but I found that using a damp towel, if not as good, it does leave the face softer, probably with the butters or whatnot with the soaps. This is a glycerin based soap, so again, slightly different perspective. Let's have a look. S2. Not bad at all, no nicks, no cuts, very close. S1. Not as close as the S2, still got a fair bit around my chin there, but again no nicks and cuts. And I mean, the easiest part for me to shave is my cheeks, and it looks like the S2 has cut closer than the S1, but the S1, it actually feels like the S2 has cut a lot closer than the S1 as well, but the S2 is still, so the S1 is still very good. I have the ATT R2 and the H2, and I've found that the H2 suits myself better in terms of, like I say, what stubble I have, which is fairly coarse. I think the S1, although a very nice shaver, may be a little bit too mild and not as efficient as what I would like. I like to complete my shave in 2 passes. So I'm just going to re-lather. Oh, what a brush, look at that. The lather is just spitting out. Paint that on. Brilliant. So this time I'm going to start with the S1. I do have better lighting on the left side, or in your case the right side of my face, so we'll start with the S1 on that side. Using my left hand, just go to the right. Yeah, it's definitely milder. Some people may initially associate this as being smoother. However, I honestly feel that's straight down to technique. The most aggressive shaves I had is with the progress set at its top level of 5, or with a straight razor that's not been properly honed. Right, so after using the S2, the S1 has cleared up the rest of that stubble. There's a little bit left, but nothing too apparent. I'm going to switch over again to the S2. Okay, and again I'm using the same Astra blade that I used initially in the S2, so we should get a fairly even perspective on the matter. So just a push, if we can see the head cap, I actually push the blade into the head cap, and then I'll put the base blade in. Try not to cut myself in the process, always a good idea. And attach the handle. Should make a fairly strong click noise, which I like to say is locked and loaded. And we're going with the S2 on this side. Yeah, straight away, those OC bars really do help to collect the hairs, or let the hairs run through to the blade. And you can hear the S2 cutting the hair a lot louder than you can with the S1. That's expected, given that the blade exposure is greater between the teeth. Okay, so this was a difficult part with the S1. Let's see how the S2 deals with that. Superb. In all my excitement, I didn't even do an against the grain. That was 2 with the grain passes today. Very, very close again. For me, the S2 beats the S1. Why? I prefer the feel of the blade. It is more apparent. Is it less comfortable than the S1? No. Again, in my opinion, they are of the same, but in terms of efficiency, the S2 beats the S1 hands down. Again, that was my first use with the S1, so it may take a few more goes in order for me to get the correct angle or get a better perspective on what I'm doing with the razor. ATT themselves suggest that the OCs will be more efficient, and that is definitely the case this time around. I don't think there is a patch where I would really like to shave over. I've got no irritation, no nicks, so I'm happy with that. What I'm going to do now is just wash the razor and the brush. And if I just show you guys what I mean by how the brush clumps together. That should possibly provide a better explanation as to what I'm doing. Okay, so just dry the brush off. Okay, so this is a very, very poor attempt of washing my brush, but hopefully it'll give you an idea as to how that razor's clumped. You can see there's still a bit of soap in there. When I do wash this off completely, you'll see all the hairs actually do form a honeycomb-like structure, and that's what I believe leads to the gel tips being formed. Okay, to finish off my shave, I'm just going to use an aftershave. Something I found that complements Professor Blighty's Grapewood very well is Taylor of Old Bond Street, Eton College. And this is not the cologne version, this is the aftershave version before they actually released the cologne. I absolutely love this. It's a gorgeous, refined citrus scent, as you would probably expect from the name Eton College, a reputable establishment. Beautiful. It's one of those citrus scents that you can't necessarily attribute to the likes of Davidoff Cool Water, Aventus Creed, Penhaligon's. It opens up with almost a woody, lemony, zesty scent and mellows out into a lovely woody, rosewood, cedarwood, but light woody aroma. Yeah, and that's it. So happy with that shave, no against the grain or across the grain this time round, just 2 with the grain passes. Like I said, I am more used to the S2. It did provide a better finish in terms of its efficiency. The S1, it was very mild, it had the same face feel in terms of comfort levels with the S2, but it just would take more passes in terms of what I have in terms of stubble growth in order to complete. But very happy with both razors, look forward to using the S1 more, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Thank you, bye.